Let's talk about a story the tabloids were desperate to turn into outrage, but somehow managed to turn into a love letter instead. What was meant to spark anger, envy, and judgment ended up revealing something far more human, far more intimate, and frankly, far more beautiful. According to multiple reports, Prince Harry is believed to have spent around $40,000 on a luxury Christmas gift for his wife, Meghan Sussex, a stunning pair of emerald-cut Cartier diamond earrings that Meghan recently wore during her With Love, Meghan holiday special on Netflix. And before the outrage machine warms up, before the think pieces are drafted and the comment sections combust, let's do something radical. Let's actually tell the story properly. Because this is not a story about excess. It's not about showing off, and it's definitely not about optics. This is a story about continuity, intention, legacy, and a marriage that has survived pressures most critics wouldn't endure for a single week. The earrings themselves are estimated to be worth around $40,000. Emerald-cut diamonds, clean lines, architectural elegance, understated power. Anyone who genuinely understands jewelry recognizes this immediately. Emerald cuts are not chosen by people chasing sparkle or attention. They're chosen by people who are comfortable being seen exactly as they are. There is nowhere to hide in an emerald cut, no tricks, no illusion. That alone tells you everything you need to know. What critics conveniently ignore or deliberately erase is that Meghan's relationship with Cartier didn't begin with a prince, a palace, or a title. It began years earlier when Meghan was starring on Suits. Back then, she purchased a Cartier tank watch for herself, a piece that typically retails between $5,000 and $7,000, depending on the model. And what did she say at the time? She said she hoped to pass it down to a future daughter. Let that sink in. That is not someone chasing trends. That is not someone buying to flex. That is a woman marking a milestone in her own life, on her own terms. A self-made woman. No permission asked, no performance of humility, just intention. Luxury for Meghan has always been about meaning. Years later, Meghan came into possession of one of the most emotionally significant pieces of jewellery imaginable, Princess Diana's Cartier Tank Française watch, now valued at over $20,000. This wasn't just a watch, it was a symbol. Diana wore Cartier not because she wanted approval, but because she embodied independence, quiet rebellion, and personal strength inside rigid systems. Meghan wearing that watch was never about comparison. It was about continuity. Two women navigating public life under relentless scrutiny. Two women refusing to shrink. Connected across time. Prince Harry understands the emotional language of jewellery better than most people alive. When he proposed to Meghan, he designed her engagement ring himself. Not a showroom pick. Not a generic royal heirloom. He chose diamonds from Princess Diana's personal collection and set them into a ring meant to represent past, present, and future. That ring wasn't about size. It was about presence. It was Harry saying, "This is my mother's legacy, and this is the woman I trust to carry it forward." Later, Meghan was seen wearing Diana's Cartier love bracelet, a piece that today can retail anywhere from $6,000 to over $10,000. Again, deeply intentional, quietly powerful, never accidental. So when Meghan debuted her new Cartier emerald-cut diamond earrings during her Netflix holiday special, this wasn't some random indulgence. It was perfectly on brand for a story that has been unfolding for years. And let's talk about the setting. Meghan wasn't attending a state banquet. She wasn't on a red carpet. She wasn't posing for paparazzi. She was hosting, cooking, creating warmth, inviting viewers into a moment of domestic joy. The earrings weren't staged. They weren't announced. They simply existed, part of her everyday elegance. And that, right there, is what truly unsettled people. There is something deeply uncomfortable for a very specific group about seeing a woman they tried to break living freely, beautifully, and without apology. Predictably, the criticism followed. Is it appropriate? Should she really be wearing $40,000 earrings in this economy? Here's the truth they don't want to admit. Meghan Sussex does not owe anyone austerity as proof of character. She does not need to dim herself to remain palatable. She does not need to perform struggle to be considered worthy. Enjoying a meaningful gift from her husband is not excess. It's normal. For years, Meghan was criticized for wearing affordable brands. She was accused of being calculated, performative, trying too hard. Now she wears luxury, and suddenly that's a problem too. The goalposts never stopped moving because the criticism was never about the clothes. It was always about control, and control disappears the moment someone stops asking permission. Prince Harry grew up surrounded by unimaginable wealth. If he wanted to signal status, he could have stayed inside the system enjoying public funding, royal residences, and unquestioned security. Instead, he walked away. He chose autonomy. He chose accountability. He chose his wife. So no, gifting Meghan $40,000 earrings is not about showing off wealth. It's about celebrating a partner who stood beside him through loss, legal battles, media warfare, public betrayal, and relentless harassment. That is not extravagance. That is appreciation. The timing matters. Meghan is entering a new creative phase, reclaiming her voice through Netflix and beyond. Her work centers warmth, intention, and domestic joy without apology. Harry continues his advocacy for mental health, veterans, and media accountability, often at personal cost. This is not a couple hiding behind luxury. This is a couple living fully, independently, and without asking permission from institutions that once tried to define them. It's not the price tag. It's the symbolism. These earrings represent stability, endurance, a marriage that survived calculated cruelty, a couple no longer negotiating happiness with tabloid approval. In an industry that profits from their suffering, their visible joy feels provocative. And that's the part critics can't forgive. Imagine spending your Christmas genuinely angry about someone else's earrings. Somewhere Meghan is hosting. Harry is probably helping and slightly failing. And the earrings are just there, unbothered, unproblematic, existing quietly. Honestly, that might be the most relatable part of this entire story. At its core, this is a very simple narrative that's been deliberately overcomplicated. A husband bought his wife a Christmas gift worth around $40,000 from a brand that matters to her and carries emotional ties to his late mother. She wore it naturally without spectacle while sharing a holiday moment. There is no scandal hiding in the diamonds. After everything they've endured, Harry and Meghan choosing to celebrate each other openly is not arrogance. It's resilience, it's healing, and it's a reminder that joy does not need permission. Now I want to hear from you. Do you see this gift as a romantic gesture rooted in legacy, a symbol of independence, or simply a husband celebrating his wife unapologetically? Let me know in the comments. This channel is about conversation, not outrage, and your voice matters here. If you enjoyed this deep dive, subscribe so you never miss an episode. Subscribing helps this channel grow and ensures these stories continue to be told with context, balance, and care. Thank you for listening. Thank you for engaging thoughtfully. And thank you for choosing empathy over sensationalism. Until next time, this is Sussex Insights, where the story is always bigger than the headline.